This conference will now be recorded.
So Boolean functions. So when you're coming to Boolean functions, a function which returns either a true or false. So when you're coming to control statements, we discussed based on some certain condition, the outcome can be Boolean operator, like a true or false. In the same fashion, even a function can return a Boolean outcome, like a true or a false. So I have two outcomes: x equal to 10, variables. I mean to say variables, x equal to 10 and y equal to 6. So I have two different values assigned to x and y. We have some function. That function is doing some kind of exercise. So the first function is df compute. So I'm going to be do some kind of exercise. So function name I written. If x is greater than y, return true, else return false. So true or false are nothing but the values which is holding the function. So the entire function will hold either a true or a false, depend on the if statement. So when you see print compute, since the compute function hold the value of true or a false, depending on the values what you assign to x and y, it will be written true or false. That is the only one reason, Boolean operator. Since there is a subject, so I explained it. Or else, when you're coming to the programs, the exercise which I explained you just now, you can follow that one also. Functions, Boolean operators, split is happened or not. There also you can try it. So far whatever you learned are nothing but functions. To minimize your code and where the repeatable code we can able to utilize multiple times in a program. Then what in by this program? Modules, modular programming. So Python supports nearly 89,300 plus built-in modules. So we can import the properties and use those models. So if you remember, when I was giving a demo session in the starting days, day one, day two sessions, I used to import math function to do some kind of sum function or a square function or cube function or anything. So math is the library module. In that module, I have multiple functions. Import module math. Then in the module, I observed there is a sum function, there is a Q function or subtraction function or any mathematical operation I can do it. So sum is the function which is predefined and assigned to module. In the same fashion, you can create your own functions and assign to a module. That module, when you import it, all the functions will be there as a inbuilt to the module. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, Samar.
It's not meaning that you need to create only one function and you can able to use it. You can create multiple functions, update to your model. That model, when you import it, all these functions are going to be come together. So Python supports total 89,300 plus models. Amar, how can I remember all these things? By practice and by experience, you'll come to know which are popular using models, and rest of things by Google search or going to Python site and observe which are the models are going to help you. So we can import the properties of these models and we can able to complete day-to-day exercises. You can create our own model in Python. As I explained you, I'll create my own I can create multiple functions. All these functions together I can combine with the help of my model. By default, every program in a Python is a model. So if you observe here, when I'm writing a program, print, when I'm clicking on run button and run module I'm using. So by default in Python, whatever you're going to write is nothing but a module. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. It is a module only. Every program in Python we consider as a module only. So module consists of four different things. It can have executable statements like a print statement. Just now as I written printmr, any print statement it can contain the module, global variables, functions and classes. Classes we not discussed. I'm parking the functions for object-oriented programming. So when it comes to object-oriented programming, then we'll discuss about classes. But right now we know three things: executable statements, how to give an outcome based on certain, after doing some exercises we'll know how to execute a statement, and we know how to create a global statement. Do you know the difference between local statements and global statements? Did we discuss about that? Anyone? I mean, do you remember local statement and global statement? Global variable and local variable.
Yeah, Amar.
So global variable where you are writing and local variable where you are writing.
Local means within the function it will work. Global means entire program, like entire outside of the function.
Outside of the function, if you are defining any variable, that will be considered as a global variable. And within the function, if you are passing any parameters like a PQ or something, then that will be considered as a local variable. Can I access my global variable to local within the function?
Global, yes, we can access, but local variable we cannot access.
Within the function is local only, no?
Within the function, the local we can access, but outside of that function we cannot access for local variable.
Okay, so functions, we discussed how to create your function by using a DEF. But we not discussed about classes. As I told you, we are parking for some time. So these are the four things we can consist of one module, any one. If you have a single one also, I can able to create as a module. Import functions will help us to get the properties of module into a Python program. So when you are going to be import any function, all the properties in the modules will be automatically imported. Let me show you that. So module, every Python file by default is a module. As I showed you, when I click on run button, system is not showing run. System is trying to show run module. So example sample.py, right now what I created, or function.py or print.py. So the file what you have it, which is saved with extension of .py, we consider as a module only. Within that file, the program whatever you written, that is can be an executable program, that can be a function, that can be a defined a variable. All these things are considered as a modules only. Clear? Are getting my point?
Yes, Amar.
Module consists of executable statements, global statements, functions, and classes. It's not a main module, it's a main module. Type of mistake. If you execute any module, then by default it is called a main module. It's not a mail, it's a main. And we can use these properties of the one module to another module. That means I created two different files, and one file contain a function, other file contain an executable program, nothing but a print statement. So can I able to use the function which is there in another program, another file, into the main file, so that I can complete my exercise, my task, and I'll give the executable program like a print statement. Can I do that? Means yes, we can do that. We can import from one file to other file, and we can complete our task, then we'll give the executable program. So file 1 will have function and file 2 will be an executable program. So call the function from the file 1 to the file 2 and complete your exercise. So we can use the properties of one module into another module by using an import statement. So how it will work in the sense, by using a main module and submodule. So what in by submodule means, if a module has imported to another module, then the imported one we call as the submodule. For example, you can see here sample1.py is importing to welcome.py. So welcome.py considered as a main module. Since the sample has been imported, sample is called as a submodule. Clear? I am going to be, there is a file which I created called function called sum function like a equal to b plus c. Some function I created, and that function I'm saving into sum.py, or and I'm creating another file, and I required a function, some function to be there. So instead of writing an entire code, what I can do is I'll call that function. I'll import a function called sum.py, so that the properties what I have in sum.py will be imported to my new file. So the new file which I'm writing right now consider as a main folder, and the sum.py consider as a subfolder, submodule. Is it clear, Yamini?
Yes, Amar.
So here welcome.py, whatever you are seeing here, imported the sample.py module. So the welcome.py can be accessed, the process of the can be accessed the. So here I written something else. So here I can access the properties of the sample.py, and welcome.py we call it as a main module, and sample.py we call it as a submodule. For an example, len of x, max of x, min of x, all these are built-in functions. I mean to say functions in underscore built-in underscore module. So when you're writing any program, by default there is a built-in module will be imported automatically. It's not a manual. So when you see, when you're doing some kind of function like len function, print function, min function, max function, by default that will be available. The reason is there is a built-in function module is already available in Python. So when it's open, once you start working, this built-in function will be there. That is the reason the basic functions what is required for a Python programming, everything you can able to access it. In case if you're not able to access, that means this module is not imported automatically. There is a, your Python might be corrupted, you need to reinstall it. But we can access them without importing the built-in function, because that is already inbuilt one. It's not a manual built-in, it's automatically built-in. So the module, the only one module in Python, this is the only one module which is the inbuilt function, and once you open a file, system automatically this function will be imported. This module is going to be imported, and all these functions like min, max, print, len, all these functions you can able to access it. So what in by this underscore built-in underscore is the only one module in Python. Without importing, we can access its properties. Properties are nothing but functions, executable program, or global variables, or whatever it may be. So when I execute a main module, in our example sample that main module sample.py or a welcome.py, then the total code of a sample.py will be converted into a byte code. That means, so if I'm calling my sum function sum.py to my main program, then my sum.py program will be converted into bytecode, nothing but pyc format, sample.pyc or sum.pyc format. So it will be converted into bytecode. Then once it's converted to bytecode, or once it's created bytecode, then it is going to be executed into mission code. From the mission code, it is going to be imported, I mean executable to your main program. Once it's executed, the bytecode py.pyc will be removed from the system. It will not be visible to you. Clear what I'm trying to say? Let me show you. You can see.
Yeah, Amar.
These files are created automatically. It's not created by me when I'm executing. Amar, just now you mentioned that .pyc will be removed. Then how you got these files? In the sense, when you are executing even a single line program, when there is no dependence of import, just sum.py I'm executing. When you are executing sum.py or some file like this, I'm executing it here. Print Amar and execute it. So what system will do is, in a backend, it is going to create .pyc format, nothing but bytecode format. and that bytecode will generate .pyc, nothing but the file name what I'm giving here .1.py. So in a backend, what system will do is system is going to create 1.pyc in a bytecode, and that bytecode will be using for your machine learning program, and that machine learning program is going to give executable things saying that Amar as an outcome. Whatever you have it, that is going to be showcased here. Now, where is my .pyc file means when you are executing the main program or independent program, that .pyc will be automatically removed after execution. It will not be there. Are you getting my point?
Mm.
That will not be there in your program.
I think we lost you, Amar.
That will be deleted from your program. I mean to say the file will be deleted. But when I call to other file, means nothing but submodule .pyc will be will be there, since it's a sub, not a main. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So when I execute a main program welcome.py, it has a submodule called sample.py. So there are two files will be created. Two PYC files will be generated. That is expected. Then only the bytecode will be generated. With the help of bytecode, the executable program will be there. So two PYC files will be generated for main and submodule. One is for main, one is for sub. If the sample.pyc is already available, then it won't be generated again. For example, the sum.py, which I created for a equal to b plus c, the file is already created. Maybe earlier I created, I executed the program, so automatically the pyc will be generated. In case if I'm using the same file multiple times, then multiple times .pyc will not be generated unless until if there is some modification in the file. Clear what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
This is my sum.py, y equal to a plus b, and this is my file, main file. So when I am executed first time, there are two files will be created. One is s.pyc, second is main.pyc. And again, one more time I'm doing, mean the sense, second time m.pyc will be created, s.pyc will not be created because it's already created. The mirror is already created. No need to be create one more time. Unless until if there is some change in s.py, it will not be regenerate .pyc file. Clear?
Yeah, Amar.
Confusing?
No.
Do not worry. If you are not getting the also, no problem. No one is going to be this much detail, and no one is going to be work on this, to be frank. Just to be confirmed whether it's executed or not. If the source code sample.py is modified, if you executed welcome.py, the sample.pyc will be generated along with the welcome.pyc. If the sum.py is modified some reason, you modified from a equal to b plus c, you created a equal to b plus c plus d. So it's modified. So again, the .pyc file will be generated. If there is no, the source code is not changed. That means .pyc will not be changed. Clear?
Yeah.
So in a simple terms, if you want to be understand, when you run the main model, then two PYC files will be generated, one for the main and one for the sub model. So if you have the main program what you're writing, the new file which you have created, that is called main model, which is imported, we call it a sub model. So when you start executing the main program, there are two files are going to be generated. One is for the main dot, and the second one is for the sub. When your execution is completed, the main module.pyc file will be deleted automatically, and submodule pyc will be remains and stores in a folder, the folder wherever it's decided. So it will be there only. And third one is when second time if you're running the same model again, the main module.pyc file will be generated, but submodule will not be generated because it's already created and stored. Not required to be generated one more time unless until if there is some change in the submodule. When module is imported and its executable statements will be executed automatically. Clear? Any questions on this? Now, how to import a module? That's important. So module can be consist of multiple things. Print executable statement, nothing but hello from Modi, module 1, x equal to 10, global variable, I have it. So module can be consist of global variable, executable statements like a print statements, and the functions. These three things we are discussing in coming sessions, but the classes will be included when it comes to object oriented. So print is nothing but executable statement, so I just maintained it. X equal to 10, that is a global variable outside of the function and the main program itself. So, and the third one is called function. Function is nothing but define. Display 1 is nothing but a function. Print from display of module 1 and x value is so and so. So there is some function. So when you see here, print statement hello from module 1, that is fine. What happened to display 1? Why it's not executed? Any reason? Where is the call function?
X is
Call
global.
function. Access global, that is fine. If it's a global, you can able to access in function, no?
Mm-hmm.
So where is the call function? You have to call the function, no? Display open and close bracket.
Yeah, that is missing. We need to assign function to the one variable.
No. So where is the call function? Display. Call function has to be there, no? So that is not there.
Yeah.
If there is no call function, how the system is going to be execute this line? So within the function, see, you created a function, but there should be a call function to call this function, no? So that is not created purposefully, because I need to import mod 1 to mod 2.
Okay.
Are getting my point?
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing here is import mod 1. I've just opened one more screen called another screen. And when you see import mod 1 and mod 2 both are in the same folder in my screen. You can see here mod 1 and mod 2 are in the same folder, same location, I can say, same directory. So I just imported mod 1. Clear?
Okay.
So that means the properties whatever I have in mod 1 are imported to mod 2. And this module also can have it. Now mod 1 will behave like a sub module and the mod 2 will behave like a main module. Clear?
Yeah,
Because of the import function, all the mod 1 properties will import to this mod 2 also. So now again I have one more global variable called y equal to 20. That means in mod 1 x equal to 10, in mod 2 x y equal to 20. That means there are two variables I have, two global variables. Now I want to do this addition to x and y values. When I want to do the addition to the x and y values, in earlier days when I'm writing a function x plus y equal to z, I used to give. But right now, since x variable is belongs to module 1 and y variable belongs to module 2, so I just mentioned as a prefix mod 1 dot x plus y. So system is going to be refer the x variable and it knows system is understand and realize X variable is not belongs to module 2, it is belongs to module 1. So you have to prefix with the module name. Clear? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Then jet. I just copied, stored this data. X variable and Y variable combined together, sum together, and stored it to jet. Now I'm just displaying it. Print the values coming from module 2, just to give information, and X value is so and so. And it, again, whenever I'm referring X value, since it's coming from a different module, so I'm going to prefix with the module name, the file name, and Y equal to direct. It's a global variable within the program, so I just given just a Y, and Z equal to Z. Then on here, I'm calling the module 1 function. So mod 1 display 1. So the function which is created in the module 1, I'm trying to execute in the module 2. So if I'm executing a module 1, just I'll say call function display 1, but I'm calling the function from the different program itself. So mod 1 dot display 1. Clear? I'm calling a function within another function, and that too is from different file. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, ma'am.
Then this function, show function, I'm calling it show open and close bracket. To show error, the reason is that file is there only. The mod 1 function is different now. So now you can see hello from module 1, from module 2, X value so and so, Y value so and so, Z value so and so, display from module 1, and X value is 10. So everything you got it. So you can call the properties of one file to other file by using a import function. That import function is nothing but modules. Is it clear? Any questions? Yamini or Giri?
No, ma'am.
Simple, no?
No, but
It looks like simple, but when we are actually starting working, then only we can.
lot of confusion.
No. Actually, if you practice multiple times, then it's going to be very easy. Now, if you want to see the directories, so in directory, what is there in the directory? What are the functions libraries you have it? In sense, to see what is there in our main directory, you can use that print dir. It is going to tell you what it can do. But I want to know what is the properties I have in mod 1. See, right now I created mod 1, so I can able to directly give X, and I can able to see displays the function. But in reality, I may not remember. So directory of mod 1 system is going to showcase you. Now, where is this? I need to remove this. Now, I want to know what are the elements I have. I'm not just directly getting an X and Y, but in reality, we don't know what is X, what is Y, right? Let me show. Now you can see there is a function called display1, and there is a variable called X. And what are the elements you have it within the module 1? Everything is going to be showcased. So the last two lines, 2 or 3, whatever you have it, you can able to see display1 and X. Display1 is nothing but a class, X is nothing but a variable. This way you can able to identify what is the variable name you created and what is the class you have it. Clear what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
No other option. You have to either you have to open the file or you can use a directory. Directory will help you to see all the functions whatever you have it. Similarly, if you have a library which is already inbuilt, the module called math, if you want to be use it, then you can do import math. The module will be imported. So math is it's nothing but a main folder which has multiple functions. So math functions like square, cube, everything you can do it. Amar, I don't know what are the functions are available. So print directory math system, you can able to see all the functions which are available. Then help math.pow. System is going to tell you what is the syntax of pow. And if you want to see if you want to utilize that particular function, give the function name in the parameters. Nothing but non-keyword, non-positioning arguments, non-keyword arguments. X will go to 2, 3 will go to Y. Clear? Now there is another example. I don't want to use module 1 and module 2 separate, module 1 into module 2. I want to import module 1 and module 2 to the new file called module 3. Then import module 1, import module 2 to new file called module 3, and I want to do some kind of addition. So right now module 1 and module 2 are subprograms to module 3. Module 3 behave like a main program. So module 1.x plus module 2 of y equal to z. So system can understand x variable is coming from module 1, y variable is coming from the module 2, and I'm going to be summed together and storing into a new variable called z. Z is going to be a variable which is a part of module 3. So I'm just trying to display module 1. That's all. Done. This is the way you can create. Any questions?
No.
Now, this is a simple example. The file is located somewhere in file like data.py is the file name, which you can see here. So I just created one list. The list contained 10 to 50. Now this list is a constant one like CSV file. Now I'm opening a new file and importing a data. Data is nothing but a file name, module file name. And for I in data.x, so in data is nothing but the prefix of the file name, dot x is nothing but a variable name, list collection data type. So system is, I'm using a for loop. I'm using, with the help of for loop, I'm just calling the data values from the x variable. So x value will go to I, print I. System is going to display 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. After that, I want sum of x, max of x, and length of x. So I'm getting 150, 50, and 5. Amar, you did not imported math function in the sense, as I told you, there is a built-in function called underscore built-in underscore. So because of that, these functions are going to be executable automatically. Any questions? Giri or Abni?
No.
So type of imports. So one is a normal import, one is a from import. So right now what is happening is normal import I'm doing. That means every time when I'm referring a variable, I'm going to prefix with the file name or a module name. Don't you think that is going to be a tedious job when you come to reality? Every time I need to prefix with the module name. Like here data.x. In the previous example, mod1.x, mod2.y. If I give some kind of syntax issue, then everything will go off. So when you come to normal import, you have to prefix with your file name. So you can see here normal import. Every time when you import a property from the module, it is mandatory that we should specify the module name before the property name, like mod1.x, mod2.y. So you have to prefix. There is no other option. There is no exception to do that. So example, mod1.display. So function is available. Display function is available in mod1. So mod1.display. So prefix with module name and math.square root. So math is going to be your module name. Within the module name, the function name is called square root, or a mod1.x. X is a variable, global variable, and it is a part of your mod1 module. So you always have to prefix with your module name. Is it clear what I mean by normal import? Any questions? Yamini?
Normal.
But when it comes to from import, if you are using a syntax instead of using an import module name, if you use a different way from import, here no need to specify the module names before the property names. So directly we can import the properties. So generally, when you come to module3.py in the previous example, module3.py, I just used import mod1, import mod2. I just used it. That is the reason you have to give mod1.x, mod2.y. But the same thing I can write in different way. The import function, what I do is from mod1 import x comma display. So these are the two elements I want it from the mod1, so that whenever I'm using x and display, x variable and display function within the module 3, no need to be prefixed with mod1. System can realize that these two elements are coming from mod1, so do not require to prefix with mod1. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
And similarly from mod2 import y comma show. Y is the variable, show is the function name. These two are coming from the mod2, so no need to give prefix as a mod2. Now directly what I can do is z equal to x plus y, and the function what you want to write. So define compute display. Display is the function which is there in mod1. Show is the function which is there in mod2. Print z. So and finally call this function compute. System is going to display the sum of x and y values. Clear?
Yeah.
But one query here is, if you want only one element or two elements, you can do x comma y, x comma display, or x comma display, and there is another variable called z. So you can able to call 2-3 functions. What if I want to import all the functions, all the elements? So instead of writing the element names, just use a star. Just use a star. So from mod1 import star, from mod2 import star. That means all the elements which are there in mod1 and mod2 should be available for your mod3. Are you getting my point?
Mm.
Any questions?
Normal.
Now I have assignment, small assignment, very basic. Just create mod1 x equal to 10, create a mod2 x equal to 20, x not y, x equal to 20. Now import x1, import mod1 and import mod2 to mod3
Okay.
by using a from, not from normal. When you use normal, you can prefix with mod1 or mod2. I don't want normal, go with from import and use star.
Okay.
Use star. Now tell me, when you print x, whether the value is coming from the mod1 or a mod2. In a mod1 I have x equal to 10, in a mod2 x equal to 20. When you are using a from import, the x value is coming from mod1 or a mod2. Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
So that is your assignment. That is going to be answer. What is the difference between why to use normal import, why not to use from import in some scenarios, not in all the scenarios.
Okay.
You'll come to know which one the value is coming in case if you really practiced. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
So successfully we completed 28 days sessions. So
Like February month, one more day.